Hi everyone and happy Wednesday. Today I'd like to talk to you about anthems. The anthem, as you probably know, is that portion of the service where the choir gets to make its own special moment, special offering with text and music to God. Usually the text chosen for the anthem is not prescribed by the lectionary, but something that complements the lectionary, usually the gospel reading, but some other aspect of that day, some reading or some season or the perhaps whatever the Sunday's theme is, like All Saints' Day or Trinity Sunday. The anthem is the choir master's chance to freely choose a piece of music that would work on that occasion. Anthems are usually done during the offering, the offertory. Some churches might have a second anthem that's programmed at communion. You probably know all of this about the anthem already, but I'd like to offer a few more fun facts about anthems today. And perhaps you didn't know that the anthem is an Anglican invention. The Church of England invented the anthem, and then it was absorbed by other denominations. You can go to a Methodist service today or a Presbyterian service and hear an anthem at the offertory, and that's a tradition that was borrowed from the Anglican tradition. It's probably not our most idiomatic tradition. Anglican chant probably fits that category, but anthems seem to have more broad appeal than Anglican chant does, in the sense that other denominations have adopted the anthem as their own. Looking back at the history of the anthem, I'd like to tell you a little bit about how it got started. We have to remember that in the beginning, everything was Catholic. So before 1534, all of the music was Catholic in England and in the service. The Reformation, of course, occurred in 1517 with Martin Luther, and then Henry VIII broke away in 1534. And the most important change that happened shortly after that time was, of course, the invention of the Book of Common Prayer in 1549, because this was the moments when churches ceased to be in Latin and started to be in English for the first time. So that's an important rule. An anthem, it cannot be in Latin. If it's a Catholic Latin polyphonic piece, it's probably a motet, not an anthem. So one of the rules of the anthem is a piece of music that is set to an English text. Later on, we have another important moment in the Book of Common Prayer, and that is in the 1559 revision. Queen Elizabeth, and I'm going to quote her here, in her Elizabethan Injunctions, 1559, she gave the composer and church musicians a little bit of license, and I'm going to read to you what she wrote. It may be permitted that in the beginning or in the end of common prayers, either at morning or evening, there may be a hymn or such like song to the praise of Almighty God in the best sort of melody and music that may be conveniently devised. This was a license for composers to compose music freely, to set any text they want at that point in the service, and this is how the anthem really got started. It was not called the anthem yet, but we do have anthems as we know them being composed in the second half of the 16th century, and by the year 1600, there's a wide body of repertoire, English polyphonic choral pieces that we could describe as anthems. The final thing I'd like to tell you today is I'd like to tell you the exact date and time when the anthem got its name. It was probably in use before this, but this is one of the first times we find it in writing, and that is in the 1662 revision of the Book of Common Prayer, where it says, in choirs and places where they sing, here followeth the anthem. So it prescribes very specifically at that point in morning and evening prayer where this freely composed piece of music should occur, and it calls it out. It labels it the anthem. So there you have it. First part of the morning and evening prayer tradition, sanctioned by the Queen, named in the 1662 revision of the prayer book. And now we have anthems in a lot of different contexts. We have them in the Eucharist every week at the offertory, sometimes at communion also, and other Protestant mainline denominations have adopted this anthem tradition that was invented by the Church of England. Have a great day, and I will see you again next week for another music moment.